it is very accurate to her representation in the comics. She is horrible in the comic books. In the handful that I read from her, which is just for
wait, is that a fire alarm?
Oh, I didn't hear anything.
What happened?
I heard it.
I heard it chirp.
I heard a chirp.
Maybe I heard a little bit of that.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, Ironheart dropped this week, and it's everything we imagined it would be, but worse. It's not being undersold. It is the worst written, more importantly, the worst acted Marvel live action product. And I know it did the deep cut in the video, but I mean, I'm going back to the Electric Company when Spidey used to walk around with his little thought bubbles and shit, and it was just a kid's show.
That's right, kiddies. I'm the spoiler.
That acting was better. I cannot describe how bad the acting was, mostly from the drag queen, who surprisingly enough, that was his first role.
Surprise.
Surprise.
I love Riri. Are you there, Riri? Come in.
That's the thing to like about the show for me. I think it's poorly written. I think it's bad. All that stuff. It's annoying. The characters are annoying as fuck. I don't know if it's just written for like 17-year-olds or whatever, but holy shit, the drag queen is annoying as fuck. But the way everyone talks to each other, the way everybody interacts, the weird praise that gets heaped on everybody from everybody else, from the hood consistently saying they're so hot and they're pretty and it's the prettiest group of criminals I've ever seen. Trying to gaslight the fucking audience into thinking you're not looking at a fucking horror show in front of you.
You got a dude with 5 o'clock shadow, hairy arms, and fucking double mastectomy there. You know, it's like, come on.
I mean, I got jump scared every time he appeared on screen. I just, but honestly, the worst thing about this show for me is just how evil Riri is. I couldn't get over how much of an awful, disgusting, vile.
It's the soft bigotry of low expectations. The TV
I need that
show.
money. I need that bag. Give me that money.
How can they write someone like this and unironically think that, oh, this is a good person, people are going to love this character? You'd have to be in another reality, honestly.
She's self-centered, fucking hugely over. Like her ego is insanely huge. I'm the best person around. I'm so smart. I'm bigger than Stark, bigger than Gates, bigger than Jobs. Like the entire show starts off that way.
Here we go. Okay. Just to let you know, your girlfriend be bigger than Jobs. Right. Bigger than Gates. Right. Bigger than Pym. Right. Bigger than Stark. Yeah. Combined.
That's how the show opens.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's how it literally first frame.
Her entire attitude is, I would be amazing if I wasn't held back by all these people, if I just had equal opportunities as everyone else. The MIT person says, we have pulled out every stop to cater to you, to give you all this special treatment, and you still can't progress towards your degree.
She's already a college graduate. She graduated college when she was 15 and then got accepted into that program to help her. And literally multiple people in the show go, we get why you don't want to just go work for some corporate thing where there's all the red tape and you can't do all that stuff. I'm like, you can have like a 7-figure job in the MCU right now. They're always looking for people.
This is her character arc. She's gonna grow over this show.
It's called character development and media literacy. I've met gangbangers with more morals than this woman.
She makes it sound like the only thing that's stopping her is just money. And I'd rather, if she really is the smartest and the best, show us that instead of just telling us.
What they're doing is they're basically saying that everything that she's doing is justified because she's oppressed. Never mind the fact that she had a free ride to MIT and fucked it up.
So it's almost like they knew it was like so over the top they had to add a few things. So there's like 2 instances throughout the 3 episodes where she talks about why she needs to do this to help people, right? There's one very early on, and then there's one about somewhere in episode 2. However, that's negated by about the 25 other times that she says the reason she needs to do this is for her to prove I can, so everybody recognizes me, so everybody respects me, so everything, like all this stuff.
You gotta demand respect.
If I can make one of those suits better than anybody else, they cannot deny my greatness.
Can't deny my greatness. I want to be iconic.
There's a way you could do it where the first part of it was really dedicated to helping people. And even if you want to throw in some of the freaking activism or whatever about my people, where I come from, we don't have help. These could really help our people. These could really help these people in these communities. If you want to put your fucking activism, you can do something like that, but have that be the focus. And then she does keep hitting these roadblocks or whatever. And then she gets swept up and feels like her only option might be this life of crime. But instead, when she gets recruited by the Crime Time squad, she has already told Zay that her plan is to get hired at a lab that's big enough they won't notice when she steals shit from them.
Yeah.
She is already planning to thieve this shit away and steal shit before she gets approached by the criminal gang.
Oh, the suit that she has in the beginning of the episode of the show, she steals from MIT.
Yes. Yeah, well, they try to justify it. They try to justify it, Garrett, by saying, "Well, she built it with her grant money." That's not how it fucking works. The grant money is given to her to build stuff that belongs to the school.
The AI in the suit is an MIT based.
It's an
AI.
MIT,
from MIT. It ain't
her student number.
No. And even before that, one of the first things that we get to see of her character is her give the speech about how she's being made small, how she's not giving an opportunity, and the teacher, like this says that's BS.
Yeah,
we take all of this around you.
That's my favorite character.
That's
in
a
the show,
complete lie.
Which
is
more of her.
And not only that, but this is not the first time she's even been in a disciplinary hearing for the shit that she's done in the school. That's why she's getting kicked out. And I'm like, oh, so she's a fucking liar too.
They didn't even get rid of her because she'd been cheating with all these other people. They fired her because she destroyed their entire electrical grid and it cost too much money. And the thing, I made that joke in the trailer, like as an extreme joke that, she's just clearly an idiot because she doesn't even know how electricity works. And she does it twice in the first episode.
She bites a live wire.
Yes.
She bites a fucking live wire in the elevator.
Electrocute the shit out of her.
But you know what? Tony Stark made mistakes, but they didn't seem like dumb mistakes. They seemed just like trial and error of working stuff out.
Well, he's a flawed character, but he didn't join basically a crime syndicate to go fund his, Iron Man suit.
He was a playboy.
Keep trying to compare her to Iron Man. It's like, this is retarded.
The justification out there from people who clearly didn't watch the show. Who want to I love most of the media literacy comes from people who didn't watch the fucking show.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And if you want to just announce you're a retard to the world, just announce media literacy unironically. Okay. Then we know it's like, okay, we're dealing with a retard. But yes, it would be fine if she was this arrogant little 19-year-old and then becomes a hero throughout. We already know, thanks to Chris Gore, that her character doesn't change throughout the entire series. Like, she stays absolutely the same. So there's no arc whatsoever. So I was told by my Marvel guy that they tried to re-edit this almost a dozen times to fix it. And you can absolutely tell.
Whoa.
Because narratively, it's a fucking mess. By the time you get to the final episode, you're like, what happened? What did they do? They spend a half an episode trying to figure out how to cut off a piece of cloak.
Yes.
And that's what it leads up to.
Extremely convoluted.
Super convoluted. We got to bring in the laser and we got to cover it up and we got to keep the suit outside. So she's got the suit inside so she can watch people die. And she doesn't lift a finger to help anybody. A bunch of, as Mike pointed out, a bunch of innocent working class security guards who are just trying to feed their families get fucking mowed through in this thing.
Yeah. Every episode.
They made it
they
rain.
portray the action like in MCU films when they're fighting like a bad guy. It's like slow motion is uppercutting this guy. And you can see his badge fall off and picture of his wife fall out of his pocket and he's crying and shit. And they're like, yeah, that's what you fucking get. And they're like, we're not here to hurt people.
Yeah. Do you think you could identify these
Just
people?
breaking and entering.
Yes. None of them wore a mask.
Well, you don't need to identify them. They gave you a contract with their names on so that you can pay them as an employee.
Yeah.
And there's also the very obvious black woman in an Iron Man suit who's completely identifiable. I mean,
they're on the news later.
Her doorstep yet? I have no idea.
If you're rich, you're bad or evil, and therefore you deserve to be robbed or murdered or killed. And if you work for the rich people, they're you can beat them up.
Well, you see.
Hey, you sound like New York City's new mayor.
Hey.
Get him out the prison. Chad, you see, the person who's making the tunnels is a bad person because they're displacing neighborhoods which are above ground so that they can build the tunnels which are underground. Just like every time there's a subway station, you will see no buildings.
No buildings at all.
They
displace everything.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
In Chicago and New York.
Down, it's the tunnels It's in a fucking huge built-up area.
Well, they're making a big deal about it being privatized as. Remember that. It's not supposed to be private, even though that would probably reduce congestion in an urban environment, which would allow your buses and taxis and bicyclists, if you're gay enough to ride one, to go right around.
Drive-by shootings. So I've been like, no, I'd love to go below ground to avoid.
I don't want to drive around the city.
And dude, by the way, that private tunnel system, it's only going to cost like $1 gazillion. What the hell was that?
Insane. It's fucking Minority Report drive, like cars.
Like, what the hell?
Gary, they killed you in this show.
Even ignoring
yeah, Gary, he was shot.
Oh, they killed Gary.
They killed Gary. Yeah.
Well,
ignoring like
Black
the
Gary.
second half of the show that we know there's spoilers for. Like, imagine trying to hold that contract up in court. Yeah, they trapped me in like my fucking underground tunnels and made me sign this. They're like, oh, okay, well, like, just fucking rip it up and don't honor it. And they're like, yeah, because
scary dude with like magic bullets.
Well, that's why I'm saying, like, ignoring the second half of the season, because a lot of people are trying to justify what they're doing with that. But like, for the people that don't know what's coming down the line, those contracts seem really fucking stupid. Like,
well, they do give them the money. That's why in the later episodes they have money, because that woman from the tunnels paid them out for some reason, rather than just taking them to a court system, like you said, or the judge, or just tearing it up. Like, who cares?
But what about the cameras that are clearly going to be in all of the vehicles which are under the fucking tunnel?
Well, they have their bank details to pay them. It's like,
Well, and also, like, I do feel like they should have done something to address the fact that Riri's going around in this iron suit.
Yeah.
Right? It's, like, fairly, like, remarkable, right? If you just see that out there, people are going to notice that.
Even in the MCU, people are going to notice that.
Yeah.
And they're gonna know it's her because she stole a fucking suit from MIT. and what's funny is you know who first pointed that out, Ryan, was my fucking Marvel guy. He's like, this is so stupid. Like, she's supposed to be running around robbing people in secret, and she stole a fucking suit from MIT. Like, everybody's gonna know who she is.
Like I said, how the police haven't already showed up on our doorstep, I don't get this. It's dumb.
It takes episode 3 for the police to come.
It's all taking place over like less than 2 days. Like, this has all happened like within the span of like a day and a half.
I thought there was a montage there that they tried to like, but
that was overnight.
Montage of her spending like
tomorrow
8 hours building a suit. I'm like, if you could fucking build this suit in 8 hours, what are you bitching about no money for?
Table. That was the thing with the AI, remember? She's like, I can get all this stuff, but to get a top high quality AI, whatever, blah, blah, she's like, that's going to cost real money. And then without all that money, she maps it on her laptop overnight by mapping her brain.
That pissed me off. She made like this super advanced AI on a freaking laptop, and that thing would take out like a supercomputer.
Yeah, it would. But, okay, that retardation aside, the thing I find so funny about it, she makes this, amazing AI that's basically sentient, and she's like, oh my god, I fucked up, I gotta erase it. It's like, you had the breakthrough of the century and you want to get rid of it? Are you fucking stupid?
Well, she's Wakanda, the isolationist based ethno state, obviously didn't want her to have their AI for obvious reasons. They got to know her, and it kind of plays off like they kicked her out. So props to you, Wakanda.
I don't know why you guys are complaining. Whenever white liberals make movies about black people, it's about them committing crimes and being failures. Just saying, whenever white liberals do it,
I think it's the same thing as like when Dave Chappelle was talking about, they always put black people in dresses and shit like that. Like the same exact thing. Anytime there's a black related thing, they're criminals. They're fucking all about woe is me. Everything's holding me down. I just need that money. If I had billions, then I would do everything else. Like,
and then
it's a fucking psyop.
They finally get paid, and the first thing they do is start shooting money guns everywhere and dancing for fucking money.
But he says frivolously.
None of them are calling up their accountants how to,
how do I invest
this money?
Invest this shit. And then the fucking hood tells him, he goes, yo, go spin frivolously.
Go spin that
cash, come on. Whatever. And and it's wild because they do the round table scene where it's like, oh, what's your motivation? What are you doing this for? And then one girl's like, I'm gonna open a school for girls so I can launder my fucking money that I'm using for my black market explosives.
Selling bombs. She sets it up as if it's gonna be good and then drops.
Yeah, and then the they and the fucking they twins are like, oh, what are you guys gonna do? Underground fight club. I'm like, wow, guys, real fucking original.
It takes a lot of money.
Money because that's what they found you doing in the first place.
So those are the blood sibling. When they called them the blood siblings in the show, I almost fucking fell out of my chair. So it's the blood brothers, right? But now little change. They made them lesbians, and their first shot is them beating the shit out of each other. And I'm like, okay, accurate, very good.
It's like I'm taking a checklist and going stereotypes. I don't think
all they needed was a U-Haul in the background.
They're not lesbians. Like what they are intended to be in the show is a girl and a boy, right? But the one who's playing the one who's playing the boy is Zoe Tarakis, who is born a woman but is a transgender, non-binary, trans feminine, whatever. So they identify as some form of masculine. So I think that's why they called them the blood siblings, because they couldn't do blood sisters.
Just to be clear, the one who was born as a girl who thinks she's a boy now still likes girls.
Yeah.
Well, probably, but I don't fucking know.
Okay.
I'm just trying to be as accurate as I possibly can about all the goddamn Yes, we have a dude pretending to be a girl with the drag queen. We've got a girl pretending to be a boy with Zoe, whatever. Okay. One of the things that is annoying, and one of the excuses a lot of people are going to make for the show as it comes around, and what I imagine will be like it coming around the culmination of everything, they want to have it both ways, where they're trying to show you that, well, Riri's actually really uncomfortable being a criminal, and she's uncomfortable with the crimes that they're doing. When the reality is that was her plan before she got caught up in this.
Yes.
Like they established that her plan was theft. Her plan was stealing shit. And this just became a quicker way to get that done. Right? Yeah. They're going to have her make the turn about what the bad things that they're doing, and they're going to pretend like that's her standing up to this criminal element, when in reality this was her plan all along.
The Hood is drawn into
it by people.
Explicitly before she agrees. Yes, before she agrees, he explicitly says, theft, breaking and entering, all this extortion.
Yeah. I'm not even
tells her exactly what they're doing.
I'm not even talking about her agreeing to join. I'm talking about the conversation she had with Zay in the junkyard when they were picking through the stuff. And she told him that her plan was to get a job at a lab that was big enough so they wouldn't notice the things that she stole from them.
Yeah, finesse.
That's what she said before we even got one hint of introduction into the crime squad.
Right.
Hero.
Yep. I just need to be in a
Hey, Garrett, it's comic book accurate. That's exactly what she did in the comic.
Hey, look at that.
Yep. Media like this actually concerns me, because the whole structure of this is to reinforce this victimhood narrative, right?
Yes.
And it's like they don't want people who are struggling in life to pull themselves out, because the only way they'll pull themselves out is stop blaming other people and see what they can do to actually make their lives better. And here you have a character who's been given everything, and she has failed because of her own terrible choices, and just blaming everything else around her and not taking any accountability at all.
I actually think that's really realistic.
That's intersectionality 101.
Yeah,
no, but I think it's realistic because she got sent to Wakanda, got given a load of stuff for free. Then she got a scholarship, went to university, got a load of stuff for free. She went through all of her education system, got promoted way before anyone else in the age. So she's always been on easy street. She's always had things given to her, and she's never worked out she has to earn this stuff. So now the guy even says, you can get all this money, but it'll take a while. I just want it now, though. That's like immediately.
Which would have been a better story. I know it's so boring to have this kid who probably was given everything but had some hard times in her personal life, and you have her, I don't know, with a little humility, maybe make her likable and overcome that. But
make her want to be a hero.
Make you want to be a hero. Like bad things happen to Peter Parker. And yes, and he had to rob shit out of the garbage and stuff too. But you know what? He was still a good dude. He was still
it's also not theft.
Yeah.
If you throw it in the bin, it's not yours anymore.
Her dad and her best friend were murdered by criminals.
Yes.
None of that is taken into account in her arc. Like she doesn't care about that. They try to sprinkle that in, but it's not really the core central reason of what she wants to do.
She's not learning from it. She's not. It's bothering her.
There clearly is a lot of trauma from that, specifically when it comes to shooting and even like
but that's not the core of what makes her a hero. She's not trying to become a hero.
No
heroism here.
There's no heroism.
If you look at it, she kind of has like the Spider-Man Bruce Wayne origin story, right? She lost a loved one, and that's that should be her motivation for wanting to make the world a better place, but it's not.
It is not. It's surface level.
That should have made her hate crime and hate criminals instead of becoming.
She should be subverting this group of criminals. That should be a plan. Infiltrate, subvert, take them down. But she's not. She's absolutely 100% on board. She just wants that money. Every time, like Ryan said, she tries to show something, she shoots herself down immediately afterwards, just through greed, and greed. All she cares about is herself. All she cares about is beating Tony Stark's legacy. This is a villain. There is no other way around it. This is the full origin story of a villain. This is not a hero. Why would anybody who's tuning in want to support this person?
Isn't she a product of all the adults around her and her environment and how she was raised? If that's how she believes, in a sense, it's like,
well, even the teaser does point that out. She goes, maybe we gave you too much freedom. Maybe we should have been way more strict on you. The thing is, the B plots of this show, her, and the trauma she from watching loved ones die and not being able to help them, interesting, like, and then the other B plot that not a lot of people talk about is her and Obadiah Stane's son, and the fact that he basically like meets this girl, and then all of a sudden now he can't stop inventing shit. He's like, yo, I got all these ideas in my head, and meeting you and watching you invent shit kind of activated my brain. Now I can't stop inventing things, and I want to do something better than what my dad did. She goes,
he wants to help
people. Fucking great. She's like, I want to steal your shit, though.
Yeah. And he's like, the story should be around Natalie and her. That should be the story. Because Natalie was shot down, and she couldn't protect her. Now Natalie is the AI protecting her. So that should have been the story and the acceptance from Riri and Natalie, is that the roles were, I couldn't protect you, I couldn't save you. But the Natalie AI is just like, it's okay. I'm here to save you.
Yeah,
and that should be the fundamental fucking root.
There's an excruciating amount of time spent between her and Natalie that could have been done in 15 minutes, and it's fucking boring and it's terrible and it goes nowhere. And yes, the Natalie AI is like more likable than Riri, far more likable.
She's more evil. Oh, yeah. She murders a guy at the end of episode 3.
She is. She absolutely is. They both are. They both murdered a guy at the end.
Riri was unconscious. Yeah.
Well, the existentialism of having an AI best friend who doesn't have the morals of your best friend because she's a fucking AI.
Well, she has Riri's morals.
From her brain.
She goes, I'm not dead, and then realizes she's dead and goes, cool. Anyways, we should hang out and be friends. Yeah. She's like, you're not real. And she's like, will you stop saying that? That's not important. Like, that's some really existential shit going on with this AI that it refuses to even acknowledge it's not the person that it looks like, Look,
there's a super easy way to, like, if this was the thing that got turned in and people reviewing this, there's easy ways to fix this, right? You dedicate the first episode to having Riri constantly talk about how she wants to help people, how she saw her dad and best friend, or her stepdad and best friend gunned down, and she wants to help clean up the streets. She wants to save people. There's not enough firefighters. Like, you can talk about all the stuff that she wants to do to help people, and she's trying to get it done the right way. She's trying to do these things, and it just falls through for some reason. Not the peak victimhood mentality stuff, but for some reason it just can't happen, right? And she gets sent back. And then she's talking to Xavier about that, how she wants to do better for everyone. And then this opportunity presents itself to make the money. And even though her goal is to help people, she wants to, she justifies it in her head. A lot of people are telling her not to do this. A lot of people are saying, no, that's not you, but she does it anyway. And then she realizes the mistake, turns on him, whatever. The problem is we didn't get the first part of that fucking story. The first part of the story was about her wanting to steal this shit, about her wanting to be recognized instead of wanting to be an actual hero. And that's the problem.
And it's a problem. It's there inherently because the writer's worldview. The writer's worldview will not allow that to happen because they have no concept of it whatsoever. And these writers were hired based completely on their identity and not their talent.
We have Ant-Man. in the MCU. And that's not my favorite movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But in Ant-Man, you have Scott, who is a criminal, right? Is a thief, got locked up, put in jail, served his time, and now he's trying to live the right way. Right. And he's trying to live the right way, but he can't hold down a job because he's trying to live the right way. He's trying to be honest. Doesn't work out. He gets fired from fucking Baskin Robbins, right? And he starts getting a lot of pressure because he can't pay his child support. He can't do this. He's worried about his daughter. He's worried about his family. And he gets convinced to do one last thing, step back into the life, and he gets entrapped by Hank Pym to do so, right? But there you have an element where you do have somebody who's shown trying to do things the right way, right? And then makes a mistake, gets drawn back into it for some reason. Riri start out, we're introduced to her not doing things the right way. We're introduced to her, even while she's still at MIT, selling off projects to other kids to get for their projects and everything. Everything we've seen about her, she's not trying to do it the right way ever.
No,
it's a terrible fucking show because it's a villain origin story.
If the show ends that way, that'd be great.
And Marvel knew it was terrible and that's why it was the shortest amount of time between a trailer, a live action trailer, and the project's release date in Marvel's history. It was probably the least marketed thing I've seen them ever do. Ever. Wow. And they didn't want to go full Echo with it, so they decided to release it all within 8 days, technically, within a week. Within a week.
Mercy.
So
mercy.
God damn, it's a mercy on everybody. It is. Well, that's what I thought about when the credits rolled. I'm like, thank God.
Oh, thank God.
It's not 50 minutes long.
I want the third episode. It's the longest of all three, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Oh, that's why. I mean, I'm not doing 3 videos on this. Are you kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. I'm getting this one and done.
Dude.
I got a whole.
Come on, Gary, it's content.
So you can build your suit.
Come on, man. I made a nice long 20-minute video. That's all good. That's like 3 videos for a lot of people. So
yeah,
there you go.
I'll be honest, man, I love the show. It is awful, and I am fucking loving it.
Oh, it's easy to meme. It's like I had more clips than I knew what to do. I had to save shit for the next video for the second half of the season. I'm like, I got some. I better save it for the next.
Yeah,
one.
we were talking about that.
I'm sure there'll be more than enough then. One of the reviews mentioned her making a Faustian bargain, which, considering we know who's coming in, just seems like she's going to be dealing with the literal devil at the end.
Well, Mephisto is basically the devil, and all these contracts, spoilers, are signing. These people are signing over their souls, essentially. So that's probably what's happening.
She's going to do it too.
Yes. That's why he needed the guy to sign the contract.
I don't know if she's going to be in Doomsday. That has not been confirmed. The thing is, a lot of people aren't going to see this show, but a lot of people are going to hear about how bad it is, and that's still brand damage, right? Not everybody saw every DC flop, obviously, because they were all flops out there, but they're all aware of them, and they're all aware of man, didn't they just have, dude, I was in the theater for F1. This is anecdotal, but I'm in the theater for a pretty full theater for F1. Superman trailer pops up and dude just says out loud, another Superman movie.
They were screwed.
We started laughing. But yeah, that's people still, when they become aware of this, they're exasperated at this point, and it doesn't help. And it would have been better to just fucking shit can it. It would have been far better to shit can it. You would be in a better position to succeed in the future. And this is just another chip at it. And I know there's all the review bombing that Ryan mentioned earlier is going both ways, and it's just it's crazy. But it's always the audience score for a movie will always be higher if it's a major flop, because most people have dipped out. Most people are gone. So what you're getting reviews from are the people who actually want to see it at some point. Yeah, there was some fuckery going on with it was at 32% before the show came out. All right. The audience score was at 32% before the show came out.
And for a while after. Yes.
And for a while after. And then it popped up to, I saw it at 70%. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes has been full of shit since they changed the algorithm for Captain Marvel. I mean, everybody covered it. Everybody made videos. Jeremy, I think, made about 20. It's kind of. Yeah, but they haven't been trustworthy since then, especially with movies. Like with TV shows in the past, they haven't really paid that much attention because there's no way to verify it. But they're not a good gauge. There's no way to have a good gauge for that. Nobody's watching Ironheart. They have it releasing at 3 episodes, so we'll see if it charts or not. I have my doubts that it will chart. I think more people were watching people's videos than giving a shit about this show. It is definitely Marvel's Acolyte. It's not going to hit the stratosphere like Acolyte, but it is as bad.
There's still time. There's still time.
Ironheart was really, really fucking bad, and was really ill-advised to actually release it. And Marvel's, and I mentioned in my video, I'm pretty sure Marvel was convinced after their big change they would have at least one win so they could sneak Ironheart in, and that didn't happen. That hasn't happened, and it's not looking good for Fantastic Four.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.